I heard a story from Aerosmith, and they said that they made a bunch of flyers and put it and handed it out at a mall. Like they put it in windshields and stuff like that. And my whole thing was like, when I heard that, I was like, oh, that's what you got to do. Right?
Yeah. Right.
Yes. I heard this a long time ago. And by the way, this is before there was Kinko's. So they were like, I don't know how they were printing these flyers, but they were putting flyers everywhere. And I was like, oh, that's what you got to do. You got to, if you want people to come, you got to let people know where you're at, you know? And that was my first thing that I started doing, was printing flyers. Like the very beginning of my journey in stand-up, I was literally at Kinko's like half the time, just printing up. I don't even know. Do they even still have Kinko's? I don't even know.
I haven't seen one in forever.
I haven't seen one in forever. So for all you new kids out there, Kinko's was this place where you used to print flyers.
Right.
Or, make Xerox copies. That was the thing before there was actual printers at home.
That's crazy.
And you have to cut them up into squares, because I remember I would put 4 flyers to a page just so I could have 4 flyers instead of just one big one. And I remember cutting them up yourself. You had to cut them up with this straight cutter, you know what I mean? And you cut them up, and I would literally go to the mall and stick them on windshields till I got chased off by security. And that was always my thing. Yeah, that was my
That's what we were thinking was going to happen to us at your show.
Huh? Yeah.
That's what we thought was going to happen to us at your show, because we went to every show and handed out flyers at every show, not just the one we attended. You know?
That's the way to go, man. Like I'm telling you, like people, when I first started at the Laugh Factory in LA, at the end of every show, I'd have a stack of flyers. I did it every show, and the comics would make fun of me. You know, I can name them too. I can name all the comics if you want, but they all made fun of me. And to this day, that's their story about me. Every time we run into each other, it's like, man, I remember when you used to stand outside and hand out those flyers, and now here you are selling out the Forum twice. I'm like,
hell yeah.
It's because I handed out those flyers.
That's right.
Man.
That's right.
Hell yeah. You know what? Yeah. When I was growing up, I grew up in New York, and my dad used to throw parties. Like he was a party guy. Like he would rent a hall and then sell ticket, or people would come and pay their entrance, and it was kind of like a nightclub, but it was moving, you know?
Yeah.
And I was reading the cover to your new book, and I saw that your mom would have you do the Michael Jackson at Knights of Columbus.
Yeah, Knights of Columbus Hall.
When I grew up, that's where we started. And I was, I don't know, I may have been like 10 years old, and we used to take all the DJ equipment, and I was the one that would hook it all up, because I loved it, and I learned all that stuff. I would hook it up for the DJs.
So hearing your story.
After that, because my dad was trying to grow it, he started making flyers to hand out. And when I was a kid, I might have been like 13. We used to print out 10,000 flyers, and just in New York City, just handing out flyers to everybody to get this thing. Yeah. So knowing your story with the flyers and the grind, the hustle that you put into it, and my own background, it was like, I got to do it.
Right.
You know, this is what we do.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy is I don't stop too. It's like, my sister. You mentioned my sister Gemma.
Yeah.
But to this day, I still print out 10, 15,000 flyers and hand them out. I don't care. People love tangible stuff.
Yeah.
People like to go home with something. You know, they love the memory, but they also like, oh man, look at this flyer. Like, oh, he signed this flyer. Like, dude, that's how you got to look at it, man. It's like, it's advertisement. Like, it's like you crush, and now they want to tell their story. They want to tell people, oh, I saw this guy. Yes. Or if it's hanging on their cubicle, they got the flyer that you handed out at their cubicle. And like, their coworkers like, what's that? Who is that? And then they tell that story. That's all like marketing 101. It's like, you know what I mean?
So
but you also have to do it with the intent of not thinking that that's marketing. You also want to do it like, because it's genuinely in your heart. Okay, here. Just in case people don't understand the hustle of handing out a flyer. Because everyone's like, why are you making a flyer? Just make a flyer on Instagram and just hit send. That it's not the same. Believe me, that gets scrolled past real quick. You want to physically reach people that aren't following you. You want to get people that don't know you. You want anybody to just look at it for half a second. Some of them, it's a numbers thing, right? You hand out 1,000, if 2 people go to it, you won.
Yep.
It's a small percentage, but you won.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
That's the price you got to pay. That's the investment, right? So here's a perfect example of how successful your flyers are, right? I don't know how many you printed. Well, I think maybe let's just say you printed out 10,000. By the way, I don't want anyone to take what I'm talking about is the key to success are flyers. You know what I mean? You want to make it in business? Get a flyer. flyer. No, flyer is just one small element to everything.
Yes.
Just be passionate about everything. The flyers, the hustle, the grind, you performing every week, staying consistent, making content, just staying in that zone, in that pocket. So the flyers is just one element. But let me tell you what your flyers did. The first time I went, my sister at the end of the show, my sister at the end of the show, she had me sign something for you in the green room. And you know how the restrictions are. Usually I'll walk out, right? But right now the clubs are, they're kind of being looked at, as far as how entertainment is being handled. So it's like they don't really like me going out there and interacting. So, that's the only reason why I had to stay in the green room. So but I told my sister, if someone wants me to sign something, bring it back. So anyways, long story short, she brought me your flyer and something else to sign.
The picture here.
Yeah, I think I signed that, right?
Yep, you did.
Yeah, and then there it is. Yeah, it's signed. And then she gave me one of your flyers. Like I signed one and she gave me one. So this is what your flyer did, right? It goes into my bag in the green room, right? I looked at it. Of course I looked at it. And then I put it in the bag. Like I didn't disrespect it. I didn't throw it in the trash, right? I put it in my bag. Then I traveled back home to it, right? And then I decided to do another week, right? Because I'm working on that hour. So I went back, right? Yep. Your flyer went back with me because I never unpacked my bag, right? So the flyer actually went back. And then you guys came again, right?
Yep.
And so now, I see a lot of people, right? But for some reason, when I went through my bag, I saw the flyer again. I was like, oh, so now you're in my head again, right? So then I go to the second set of shows and I saw you walk up to the side, right? When I was standing outside, right?
Yep.
Yes.
And then I think you came up to me and handed me a flyer again, right?
I showed you a picture, a screenshot of the podcast
that's right.
with your picture hanging.
Yeah. So at that moment, that's when I was like, I'm gonna do this.
Aww.
I'm gonna do this with them, because I saw like that never give up attitude, like that should go unnoticed. So and when I saw you do that, I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this pod. I remember telling my assistant, I was like, yeah, make sure you reach out to them and let's get this going. I think I even told you that. I was like, I'm gonna do this, man.
Yeah. You said send it to me. Send me the pictures. You said DM me the picture.
Yeah. And yeah, man, that's what it's all about, man. Staying consistent. It's a numbers thing, right?
Yeah,
just keep
definitely
doing it. It is my favorite flyer moment is when I used to hand out these flyers, because I used to talk about my son Heavy when he was like 1-2 years old. I used to do the whole daddy, all that stuff. It was like a whole big part of my act, ting ting, and all that, right? And then so my flyers were just a picture of my son crying.
Yeah,
that's
I remember that. Yep. Yeah.
No information on it. It just said, I think at the time it was jokoy.com at the bottom. There was no Facebook, no IG, none of that. Just jokoy.com in the bottom, subliminal. You can barely see it. And just this white picture of my son crying. And to me, that, I wanted to hand it out. And when people looked at it and go, is this who you're talking about? I wanted that. And it was such a cool picture that I wanted people to actually put it up, like hang it up. Because it was a really cute picture of my son crying.
Yeah.
So I wanted people to keep it like, I didn't want this whole flyer of a bunch of information and blah, blah, blah. And like 9 pictures of me, like no one cares. Right. I wanted someone to just see the picture of my son crying and then start that conversation.
It's like a frame of reference.
Whether it be with me, like, oh my God, is this your son? Or when they go back to the office and put it up on the wall and someone goes, who's that kid crying? Oh, there's this comedian. He talks about his son.
Yeah.
Boom. You know what I mean?
That's next level.
Yeah.
That's next level.
That was my whole idea behind that card. My favorite, there's 2 stories on that, right? So my favorite, because I used to make it my DVD cover. I used to make a bootleg DVD too, by the way. And I used to sell those for like $5. Sometimes I would just give them for free.
So funny.
And then, so I have 2 stories. One, I'm opening for Russell Peters in Times Square, right? Like somewhere in New York. We just got out of some theater in Times Square. This is a long time ago. And everyone at the end of the show is taking pictures with Russell because we went to go eat at like the Olive Garden or something like that. It's in Times Square, right?
Yeah.
And so we're walking to the Olive Garden. These people start rolling up to Russ. By the way, I have no TV specials, no nothing, right? So and they start taking pictures with Russell. And I'm just standing there just watching it, just admiring it. Like, yo, this is dope, right? Like, yo, I can't wait for this to happen for me, right?
Wow.
I've even taken pictures for him, you know what I mean? And And then as I'm taking pictures for him, for who he's taking pictures with, this New York cop pulls up on a bike cop pulls up, right? And he goes, yo, my man. He goes, you're Jo Koy, right? I go, yeah. He goes, me and my wife were in LA and we went to that Laugh Factory and we saw you perform, man. You're amazing. And I remember going, Russell, listen to this guy. I got a fan. I got a fan. He goes, no, seriously, man. I love your stuff, man. Aww. He goes, you used to hand out cards, right? You still hand out cards? I go, I still hand out cards. He goes, I kept it. And he opened up his wallet and it was in his wallet.
Man.
Damn. That is crazy.
He pulled out the card and it was just like, that's the win. If I sold out, if I sent out 1 million cards and only one person has that card, I won.
Yeah.
Like, I go, if this guy has my card for I don't know how many years in his wallet, like how many stories has he told?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It was so cool. And then there was this one where I do DVDs. I used to burn DVDs, like blank DVDs with all like stuff I did on TV or even like a set that I did on stage. And I used to burn them. And I used to make these fake DVDs. My friend worked at Blockbuster Video. You guys probably don't remember, but it was like a video rental store. And they used to throw away those black
the cases?
those black cases. They used to throw those away in garbage bags full. Yeah. Right. So I asked him, Chris, Chris, can I have those bags? And he would give me bags, like hundreds and hundreds of those covers. And then I went and got the DVD slip professionally made. Yeah. I even scanned the DVD logo and a barcode.
Wow.
On it.
Nice.
Like legit. Like I made it look like a legit DVD. And I would sell them for $5. And then like at the end of the week, if I had a stack that I didn't sell, I would just hand them out. Because my whole theory was, if you go home with merchandise, then no one in that town's going to remember you, right? That was always my mentality. Yeah. Why go home with it? I'd rather give it away for free and let these people talk about me. So every Sunday I would just give away my merch. You know what I mean?
That's awesome.
And just, like here, just give it. I tell people on stage, yo, you want shirts? Come see me after. And I would just hand shirts out. You know what I mean? It was like a radio show. You know how radio shows, they throw that's
I was handing stuff out. Yep.
Yeah. So anyways, I was doing a huge show, man. I can't remember where I was, but it was like an arena. I was playing like an arena, like 10,000 people, right? And this lady walks up to me, and it's my DVD. She's like, I still got it. And then she opens it. It's signed. I'm like, oh, my gosh. She goes, yeah. She goes, I put this on display right by the TV.
That's awesome.
I want you to sign this again. And she goes, you know what we never did with it? We never took a picture with it. And like, I was like, dude, this is amazing. So like, that's why I do that's why I do the flyer thing. That's why I like to hand out stuff. Like,
love it.
That tangible stuff, man. Like creating memories for people, man. So yeah.